This is the Julie and Kaz Show.
For today, for now.
Yeah. So I'm Julie. I'm with Balanced Life with Julie. I'm a health and nutrition coach.
And I am Kaz, a registered massage therapist and energy healer and owner of Key Health and Wellness in Whitby.
Mm-hmm. At the moment, she's helping my dog Coco to heal, who
That's
is
right.
like stretched out on her lap, loving it.
Smitten.
So today we are talking about, we just got back from an event called the Summit of Greatness.
Mm-hmm. It was great.
Yes, and we're feeling pretty great.
I'm feeling a little exhausted, but in a good way. I think everything that transpired over the last 5 days is finally catching up.
Yeah, we had some long days.
Mm-hmm.
We stayed up past midnight one night.
Like I feel accomplished right there. We danced.
We danced
like
a lot.
No one's business.
And then we woke up yesterday and we're like, whoa.
Yeah.
What is this body part that hurts?
Oh, now we have an 8-hour drive home. But that's all good.
Yeah. So the Summit of Greatness happens in Ohio, in Columbus, Ohio. Every fall, it's like a 2.5 day event total. There's different speakers, and basically it's about, learning some new tools, meeting with some entrepreneurs.
I know.
And Coco was disappointed.
She's happy
that she didn't get to go to the Summit of Greatness because she learned from me
I know
that there were some dogs at the Summit of Greatness, and she wanted to be one of the great dogs at the Summit of Greatness. So yeah, there were some good speakers. I would say one of the highlights for me was the Kyle Cease.
So I had no idea who anyone was, which
even though she was on the email list.
True. I don't really tend to do emails very well unless it's an important email in terms of something's happening, something's blowing up, you owe this, I don't know. But other than that, I was like, you know what? I have no expectation. I'm not going to worry about who's there or not there because at the end of the day, I'm just going to go and let it be and be in the moment. And it worked out well because then I had no preconceived notions of who people were or what they might say. So it was great. And everybody that I got to meet for the first time on the stage there, I think had something different to add. Sometimes they seem to say the same thing but in different words, which is great because it just repackages it, and sometimes that's more appealing to people. But overall, it was really good. There's nothing like the energy of that room, especially when they're bringing on a new speaker.
I've never seen anything like this. I woke up with the theme in my head, and they had also had like a bunch of drummers on stage. Every time there was a speaker being announced, you would see the video replay for the event, the sort of the highlight reel, so to speak, of past Summit of Greatness. And then there would be the video of the speaker. Like you didn't know who the speaker was until you saw the first video image. And it was like, oh, it's that person. It's Leanne Rimes. And then but the whole time the drums are like going live.
Crazy.
And as the audience gets louder, the drums get louder. It's like it starts moving through your body.
Oh, it's full body experience.
Yeah, it was amazing. I actually recorded one of the last speakers that was presented. I made a point of actually recording that video intro because it's just sort of so unique. Because normally you go somewhere, they announce the name and everybody kind of claps or cheers or whatever. But this is like a full-on production.
We'll have to post that video so people can actually see it. I mean, nothing compares to being right there, but for sure, so they can understand what we're saying. Because it's like nothing else. I've been to lots of lectures and events and conferences, and it's basically just like, please put your hands together for so-and-so. But this is...
yeah,
insane.
It's epic.
Yeah. No coffee was needed because the amount of energy that suddenly just skyrockets through that room.
Yeah, no, it was
great.
It was amazing. I was kind of like you, like I didn't really pay attention to who the speaker list was. I knew because I was getting some of the emails And so I knew ahead of time there were a couple of speakers, like Ed Milet was one of the speakers. And then Kyle was announced, and I was like, yeah, I like Kyle. He's funny. I want to hear his stuff. But I was totally shocked when Leanne Rimes opened the event, because of course I hadn't even looked in my event booklet that I'd been given the day before.
How very Pisces of you.
Yeah.
Let's just float around, just be there.
I should mention that we're both Pisces, and we both have that tendency to like, we're just like, oh, let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Let's go with the flow.
Oh, look, a butterfly.
I was like, oh, Leanne Rimes is here.
Yes.
She did the most amazing, like, a cappella song on live in front of an audience for the first time. This song that she's working on, I guess, for her next album. And oh my God, that woman can sing. Whoa.
I know. There's such little talent, I feel, out nowadays. And so for her to stand there, no accompany, music, nothing. She just was like, here it is. I mean, clearly you can tell I've had some sort of vocal training, and but she was better than me. So
shocking.
I know.
For a woman who's been in the music business for 20 plus years.
Yes. And she looks amazing.
Yes.
Considering, like, I remember probably early 90s when Leanne like really sort of made a big impact out there. At least
I don't think it was early 90s. I think it was later.
Oh yeah, maybe. Because when did I come to Canada? Well, anyways, time's irrelevant. I'm a Pisces. But my point is, she looks phenomenal.
Yeah.
And it was great to open with that, because it's humbling to see someone so vulnerable who's been in that industry for so long and had some really great sound advice, and, you know, says basically things still make her scared, but it's all about moving forward and taking risks.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, the event is meant to sort of encourage people to tap into their own inner greatness. And the speakers that get brought to the event, it's more about, they all share sort of their weaknesses or where their blind spots were, or maybe where they may have messed up in their life and how they bounced back from it. So everybody, I felt like pretty much all the speakers, except for maybe one or two, shared those vulnerabilities. And because we're all different, like when you hear different people share their experiences, it'll like, for one person, it might be like, whatever. And then for the next person, it's like, oh my God, I can so relate to this person.
Absolutely.
And then hopefully it motivates them to go home and make changes.
Yes.
Yeah.
You would hope so. I mean, it's hard when we were discussing this on the long drive home.
We've basically, now that we're recording this, the event, we drove to Columbus, Ohio on a Wednesday. I don't know when this is going to come out, on a Wednesday. So we were together Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And now we're recording this on a Monday. So we've been together for almost a week.
Which is longer than some celebrity marriages, by the way. So I feel as if we need an award.
Yes.
This is our greatness.
I was wondering if we would run out of words to say to each other, like if the drive home from Columbus would be super quiet. But no, we just chatted the whole way.
Yeah. I think that's a Pisces thing too.
And we also like chatted so much that we kind of went in circles a couple times around Columbus because we couldn't figure our way out of Columbus.
Well, all of a sudden we're like, Cincinnati, I'm not sure that that's on the way to Detroit. And then we realized we may have made not even a wrong turn. We just kept going where we should have turned off a few times.
Yeah. And we kept stalking the same vegan joint. I think we had 4 meals there, 4 or 5 meals. On the Saturday, we went there for lunch and we're like, oh, we're going to need dinner. So we ordered more food and brought it with us. And then the Sunday that we were coming back, I was like, we're going to need some food. I think we should go back to Portia's Cafe.
It was divine.
The best.
Not to say that there weren't great stuff in Columbus right by the summit, but everything seemed to shut down at 5.
Yeah.
So it was a bit tricky. But overall, it was a wonderful experience.
Mm-hmm. People were super friendly.
Mm-hmm.
Not just at the event, but just in general.
It was very good.
Yeah.
It's always interesting when you get big groups of people together like that, because everyone's motivated by different things. Everyone is on a different journey, but yet we all just came together and embraced each other, and people had advice and lots of friendships, I feel, were made, lots of connections.
Well, the first day we were waiting in that line and we just happened to start talking to the people in front of us, and turns out they're from
Whitby and Ajax.
Yeah. So we made some new friends.
Yes. All
and
the
actually
way to
one
Ohio
of them,
to find people who live next door.
Yeah. One of them Facebook friended me, and turns out we have a whole bunch of people in common. So
very interesting.
Yeah.
Well, all in all, it was a great 5 days. I think that's how long it was.
And you didn't yell at me.
Seems like a longer day. I didn't. We had a good time.
It was a fun time. And we danced, which I still can't remember the last time I went to a nightclub.
Oh, I don't know either. But I have whiplash. No joke. Thank goodness I am a massage therapist. I don't know that I'd be able to move today.
Yeah. I'm doing all right. So I think like sort of what would you say big takeaways are?
Oh, that's a good thing. I guess just that in order to move forward, you have to take risks, and that you can't see it as a failure. You see it simply as an additional stepping stone. It's all about that perspective. So if you're putting a negative connotation on it, like, oh, I failed, I'm no good at this, then you'll never be able to keep going. If you look at it like, oh, thank God I failed at that, because now it's opened a door to this, or now I've learned something. And it sounds like something that I probably have already known. I probably have notes on it from lectures that I've looked at before. But I think just from the energy of that room, it sank in a little bit more that day.
From the Kyle Cease talk, I like what he says about when it's time to say, like, you need to make a change. But a lot of people tend to stay stuck in the same pattern, whether it's with a relationship or health or work. They're not happy, but they'll stay. And he says, your mind can only measure what it'll lose. It can't measure what it'll gain. So walking away from toxic situations or situations where you're not happy, our mind can really hold us back. But because it's measuring like, oh, well, if it's like a, sort of like one of those cushy jobs where people don't like the job, but they show up every day and they're deeply unhappy. And it's like their mind is doing that calculation of like, oh, well, then I don't have a steady income and I don't have this, this, and this. So their mind's in that measuring state. But if you can just like sort of turn that off and take the leap, it's amazing what opens up. And with him in particular, because he had a successful career in comedy and chose to walk away from that to go into coaching and being a speaker and all of that, then it was pretty. So your mind has a tendency to measure what it'll lose versus what you'll actually gain. So
I think also with Kyle, he mentioned that time really isn't relevant in the sense that the future's not even existent, really, and the past is nothing more than imagination, really. We kind of create the memories as they come up. And for me, as a Pisces, that makes so much sense because I live kind of an imaginary life anyways. So why not create it in an ideal way?
And there's only the now is basically what his talk was like. Just be in the now.
And right now we're out of time.
Yeah. So follow us on social media. Me, Instagram at Julie Brar.
And on Instagram, I am at Key Health and Wellness Whitby. And I believe all of our info is in the
blurb.
Credits. Yeah. Credits. I don't know what they're called. You know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Anyways, people, have a wonderful day.
And we'll catch you next time.
Yes.
Coco's signing off.
Peace.
This show has been produced by podcastexpert.ca.